In the political web spun by Mayor Tiffany Henyard, control isn't just a tactic, it's a way of life. So her inner circle is filled with individuals with troubling backgrounds. Now, these aren't accidents, in my opinion. They're hand picked choices designed to maintain loyalty and dependency. But why does she choose these characters, right? Well, today we'll unravel the psychology behind Hinyard's control and reveal how strategic manipulation may be fueling her political survival and what it means for the people of Dolton and Thornton Township. So we all know that politics is a really dirty game. And power isn't just about position, it's about control. And then some leaders thrive on surrounding themselves with people that they can manipulate. Like Tiffany Henyard seems to be one of those leaders, hand picking individuals who often come with criminal records or allegations. But why? What kinds of leader would even want or intentionally choose people who might otherwise never get the opportunities? Yeah, you got it. Leaders like Tiffany Henyard, they often exploit the weaknesses of their inner circle in order to maintain control. That's a trait that's actually observed in many powerful figures, both in politics and beyond. Now, let's take this Tiffany Henyard Michael Smith collaboration, for instance. Her newest village administrator who has multiple allegations of impropriety, such as inappropriate behavior with children, impersonating a police officer, stealing gas, and just other ridiculous behaviors. It's like strategic narcissism, if that's a thing, a trait that seeks to surround itself, in my opinion, with those who are vulnerable, people that are flawed or compromised, or who, she knows may have the same characteristics as she does. So, by choosing people with criminal records and questionable past, she ensures dependency, leveraging their weaknesses in order to secure her empire, strengthened by the people who think just like her. Before we get started, let me confirm that the information in this video is derived from my personal account and opinions based on information available on public records or other platforms. Now, this video is intended for critique, criticism, and we're not making definitive claims of guilt or innocence, but are offering a platform for analysis and discussion. So, the purpose of this video is to challenge the viewers to think critically and to form their own opinions. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled program. Okay, guys, back to the story. Now, Tiffany's supporters must ask themselves what leader in their right mind would choose an entire group of characters surrounded by rumors of inappropriate behavior, misappropriation of funds, assault, just to name a few. Now, these aren't just wild accusations, but rather a reflection of the types of individuals that Tiffany Henyard consistently places in positions of trust. It's disturbing. But when you look deeper, it becomes evident that these characters are not exceptions. They're part of a much larger strategy. Okay, guys, let's move on to the list. And we're going to start with none other than Keith Freeman, once her right hand man and loyal lieutenant, but he was fired under suspicious circumstances. Now, we can only speculate that his firing was due to his alleged cooperation with authorities and or his whistleblower involvement for the trustees. All right, next up, Lis Lacy, former police chief for Dolton and also one of Tiffany's little minions. Now, while in office, there were significant concerns about his oversight, his leadership, a lack of accountability and transparency. And then he was recently indicted on bankruptcy fraud, which I think overshadowed his tenure. But there are other broader criticisms of how he managed the department, allegations of poor oversight, and potential misconduct. So the combination of his legal troubles and his questionable leadership practices calls into question his ability to maintain ethical standards while he was in office under Henyard's authority. And next up, Andrew Holmes, a controversial public figure that's currently a trustee. And he was previously an advocate, right? But was terminated after the allegations of him SAing his coworker during a work-related conference in Vegas. So we don't know what the current status of those allegations are. So we'll have to circle back to you on that one. But this is just another red flag in her administration. Then, of course, there's Kamal Woods, her boyfriend, who, oh my goodness gracious, the list is a bit long, but let's just say that there's allegations that he's like her muscle and that he threatens her perceived enemies, right? So that's actually not only that, but he looks scary. That's just my opinion. Then there's Keith Price. Keith Price has allegations that he assaulted, seriously assaulted, a member of the public while he was in office in another position. Now he's over here with Henyard, and there's allegations that he's issued threats to the public, to members of the public. And he basically just has this overall aggressive demeanor, and he seems to be her protector. Let's just say that. And then there's Lavelle Redmond. Now, Lavelle Redmond is a registered SA person, and I believe he served over 20 years in prison for that SA assault or allegations of that assault. But he was later hired by Henyard as her code enforcement officer. Now, I did listen to an interview with him, and it appears that he's basically saying that he was recruited by Henyard after, he was released from prison. That's an interesting scenario there. But be that as it may, he served over 20 years, or right about 20 years, in prison for allegations of SA. And I'm going to say that because he claims that he was a child and wasn't really the person or people that actually carried out the actual assault. So I will tell you guys that the list is not exhaustive, but for the sake of time, I gave you the main characters in the lineup. And so Tiffany's supporters continue to believe in her vision when nearly everyone around her is surrounded by serious allegations or dark past. So, sure, maybe one or two accusations could be dismissed, but when the entire circle is filled with individuals facing misconduct claims, it has to raise serious questions to her supporters. Now, how can they continue to trust in her leadership when those she chooses to empower come with such troubling histories? Like, at what point do these choices become a reflection of her own character and governance styles? So, the long and short of what I'm saying is this: Henyard seems to select people who either have legal troubles or allegations to ensure that they remain dependent on her power and unable to challenge her authority. Now, this pattern might reveal her strategy to maintain absolute control while preventing dissent or betrayal. But here's the thing, guys. In the end, all the work that Henyard put in assembling her questionable lineup of characters couldn't shield her from what's to come. Now, her carefully crafted team built on shaky ground, is rapidly falling apart. One by one, the players are crumbling under pressure. With each resignation, firing, or legal battle, Henyard's grip on power weakens. And now, with even more scrutiny aimed her way, the question remains, what does this mean for her future? Now, as the walls continue to close in, Henyard's team of shady allies can no longer protect her from the trouble brewing on the horizon. Will she face the same fate as those who have already fallen, or is this just the beginning of her unraveling? Now, one thing is for certain, the game she played is catching up with her, and Dolton and Thornton Township will be watching closely to see what happens next. So, guys, if you found this analysis eye opening, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into this political power and corruption and clash of personalities, and that has shaped their political community there in Dolton and Thornton Township. And as always, thank you for tuning in to Southern Confidential, and I'll see you next time.